6 months. That's literally all it takes. I've seen it time and time again. People going from dead-end jobs in a matter of months, going from that to closing deals from the laptop regularly, 5, 10, 15k a month from Marbella, wherever the hell in the world they choose. But here's the thing that nobody's telling you. The window for getting into high-ticket sales with no experience is closing fast. And once that window closes, once it's locked, you've potentially missed the easiest and fastest opportunity to that level of financial freedom that's ever existed. What I'm about to share with you will either motivate you to take action over the next couple of months, or you'll look back in 2 years and think, why didn't you take action when the answer was staring you right in the face? Look, I've been in sales for years, just coming up to 10 years. I started in traditional sales, grinding 12-hour days for as long as I can remember. Then I moved into setting up my own sales agency, my own physical business in the city. I could only travel a couple of times a year, and I definitely couldn't live anywhere that wasn't in like an hour commuting radius of wherever my office was. Then I discovered high-ticket remote sales. Within literally a matter of months, I was closing for Jay Shetty, then Mind Valley. I was working 5 to 6 hours a day. I was actually living in Spain at the time. Then I've done a bit in Thailand. I've lived in Bali for the past 2 years now. And here's the thing. This opportunity is still wide open, but it won't be for long. See, most people think sales is still like door knocking and cold calling and working in an office. They don't even realize that this digital world where people like me and you who maybe aren't as technologically proficient can still take massive advantage of this rapidly expanding digital space with our skills. They have no idea this even exists. They don't realize that you can actually earn 10, 20k a month closing deals from your laptop for these online-based businesses. And right now, that's to your advantage, but not for long. And here's why most people never break into this space. Firstly, they think you need loads of experience, but that's not true. I've seen people outperform people who've got decades of experience who I've trained, and they hit 10k months faster than seasoned reps. Second is they think it's too good to be true, which I do understand. But the truth is there is these businesses online, otherwise the online economy wouldn't even work. And they are desperate for high ticket closers, people who can actually close. Third reason is their ego. And this is really common. They think that because they've done recruitment, because they've done real estate, corporate, enterprise sales, whatever, they think it's the same. And I always use the same example. You might know how to drive a car, but that definitely doesn't mean you know how to drive a Formula One car. And it's the same principle. Yes, they're both similar vehicles, but to get in the more advanced vehicle, you need a skill upgrade, and you also need continual learning as well. This isn't something you just learn and that's it. Ultimately, I'm still getting mentorship now, and I'm 5 years in. You're competing with some of the best in the world. This is like the Premier League of sales. Just think about it. Why would a business owner choose someone with no remote high ticket sales experience, who's never invested in themselves and it just comes from a traditional sales background, who might require some extra mentoring inside the business and help and guidance, when on the other hand, there's someone over here who has invested in themselves, they've got experience, and they actually fully understand how to close from day one. Who are they going to pick? But here's what's actually changing in this industry. The skill level is going through the roof. The average closer in this industry right now is better than probably the best closer 5 years ago. People are treating this like a sport and a career rather than just a side hustle, because the results are so profitable. Do you remember UFC 1, when you could basically just be a guy in some trunks who was good at a bit of wrestling and you managed to get on TV, you actually managed to get airtime? Now, none of these people who were in UFC 1 would even be in the top 1,000 athletes in the UFC in modern day. And it's the same thing. This is what happens with anything. The first movers in any industry, in anything really, always get outsized returns because the demand outweighs the supply. Right now, if you're coachable and you can communicate well, you are going to clean up in this industry still. But in 2 years, forget about it, because the people who start now are going to be leagues ahead of you. Let me tell you what separates a 3k a month closer from a 20k a month closer, and I've trained hundreds of them. It's not your background, it's not your age, it's not whether you went to university or not, it's 3 key skills. The first is emotional intelligence. Can you read people? Can you understand what they're saying versus what they're trying to say? Can you make them feel understood? Most people are terrible at this. They listen to respond, and they can't wait for when it's their time to speak. not to actually just understand what the prospect's trying to say. Number 2 is pattern recognition. Can you spot the difference between someone who's genuinely interested and someone who's just trying to be polite? Can you spot patterns of objections during a call rather than just trying to handle them all at the end? This comes from training and practice. It does not come from years of experience. The third is, do you have authentic authority? Can you show up on a call as someone who's actually worth listening to, a genuine authority figure? Not someone who's pushy and putting pressure on, someone who listens, actually wants to help, but gives off a certain level of certainty. This is about your energy, your tonality, your presence. But here's the beautiful thing. None of these things are skills that you're born with. These are skills that you can develop in literally just a matter of months, not years. I've seen people who are the biggest introverts in the world develop into high-level closers, mainly because they know how to listen better. I've also seen people with zero experience outperform people with decades of experience because they weren't trying to prove anything. And most importantly, they weren't carrying a load of bad habits around. But here's the main reason why I'm recording this video. The secret is getting out. Every month, more and more people are figuring out what remote high ticket sales is. And in turn, that is increasing the amount of high ticket closers there is, which means that companies are slowly raising the standards. You just need to have a look at what's happening. So firstly, you just have a look at the job boards. Once upon a time, you might be one of 20 applicants that are applying to a position. Now, you're one of 200. The second is companies are actually starting to try and prefer people who already have remote sales experience. 2 years ago, they were willing to train you, they were willing to help you, but now most of these positions are saying required 1 or 2 years of high ticket sales experience, or some of them are even requiring a minimum deal value. So you would have had to collected a certain amount of cash before you actually get the role. And third, and potentially the biggest one, the longer that you wait, the more your competition are quietly getting better in the background, because they're getting more and more experience. And here's the kicker. The good roles, the ones with the proven offers, the ones where the reps are absolutely killing it, they don't even really need to post on job sites anymore, because they just ask their current sales team, do you know any more closers? So this is almost becoming like a closed network, which means if you're not in now, you're getting locked out. The door is closing, but if you get in now, there is still on the other side of that door massive opportunity for you. Let me paint a very clear picture of what waiting looks like for you. Step 1, stay exactly as you are. If you're in a corporate position, a corporate sales job, you might get a 3% sales rise every year. A couple of years down the line, you're not any richer, you're just more frustrated. Option 2, which a lot of people do, is just try and figure it out yourself. Spend months just randomly applying to things, having no idea what's a good opportunity, what's a bad opportunity, how to actually even present yourself in this industry. What do these founders even look for? It's so different to corporate that you're just going to bark up the wrong tree, and probably by the time you figure it out, this opportunity has already passed and you'll be locked out of the right rooms. Option 3 is you take action now. You learn the skills, you learn the frameworks, you learn how to position yourself so you can actually land these roles. And realistically, in a matter of 6 months, you could be earning 8 to 15K remotely from wherever the hell you like. Like, it's fair enough speaking about the money, but at this point, I don't even really care about the money. And when I speak to my students, a lot of them don't either, because if you're stuck in one place and that's not the place that you want to work, then no real amount of finances could actually make that worth it. For me, it's about the actual freedom that remote high ticket sales gives you. Freedom to live where you want, work when you want, travel without permission. Freedom to build real wealth instead of just surviving. But here's what really bothers me. I have people who DM me 18 months ago interested in this opportunity and didn't pull the trigger. 18 months later, they check in again, they're still interested. Guess what? They're in the exact same position. And instead of taking action, instead of just actually taking that first step and maybe taking a little bit of a risk in their eyes, they've made another decision to just stay exactly as they are, which in my opinion is far more risky. Don't be that person. First, stop making excuses like I'm not good at sales, or I already have experience, I should just be able to land a role, or it sounds too good to be true. These are just excuses that you're telling yourself to stop taking action. Second is get serious about learning the skills. This isn't something you just dabble with. Become a master of objections, tonality, doing a complete killer discovery process. And thirdly, start actually building your network. Start surrounding yourself with people that are already in this space. Just reach out to closers that are already on Instagram. Reach out to me if you're open for a chat and discussing training in a bit more detail. But most importantly, learn what these companies are about. Learn what they actually look for from a closer so you can position yourself better when you've got the skills. And fourth is get practice. Get on calls, get on mock calls, practice all the frameworks that you've learned and get the reps in. So when an opportunity presents itself to you, you can grab it with both hands and know that you're going to deliver from day one. If you're in sales, if you're in a corporate job, if you're in a traditional sales job, whatever, in 6 months' time, you're either going to be in another job, doing pretty much the exact same thing, maybe earning a little bit more money, but realistically, probably not living the sort of lifestyle that you'd want. Or you can take the first step. You can start learning how to close properly, get a remote high-ticket sales job, and start closing from anywhere in the world and actually unlocking that level of freedom that you've been looking for. The only difference between those two futures is what you decide to do right now.